Hi there, this is Alex, and I just want to take a quick moment to thank you for listening to this episode and any other episode here at the Style Learn Origins podcast. Make sure that you check out the description of each episode as we have links for great products like Luca, where you can start your business and create your brand kit directly using AI, online course platforms that are innovative and use AI like LearnWorlds. Now, let's get into the episode.
Thank you.
All right, so start recording. Here we go. Doing great. And intro. And here we are. Getting going. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another fantastic episode. This is season 2. And we are talking e-learning. And I have one of the best guests that I can guess. Hey, guest that I can guess. That's right. Guest that I can guess that I can have. Really to talk about the subject that we're talking about today, which is e-learning. I started as a trainer, but then evolved into an e-learning developer. And when I started evolving into the learning developer and then became an instructional designer, during that period, someone really caught my attention. And that someone was Anna Sabramowicz.
Woo! That's right.
There
I
she
like attention. I live for the applause.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I got to work on my sound effects. Anna, what a pleasure is to have you here. Tell
My
people,
man.
tell people a little bit before I know it. Tell people a little bit about you and how you got started in learning.
Oh, we don't have that much time, but I'll make it super short. And dude, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to talk to you.
Absolutely.
It's been a while, so I'm just super glad to be here. So I was also a corporate 9-to-5er, and I just, to be honest with everybody, I actually just really hated my job. The work that I did as an instructional designer. I love that part. I also moved up from trainer to instructional designer. I didn't even know that job existed, right? Until, it existed, which is so cool. But then I went solo because I just wanted to set my own terms and do the creative stuff that I didn't get to do on the job because we were always told that's not what we do around here, or all those things. So for me, the jump was, which I made about over a decade ago now. I don't need to age myself. It's been a long time.
We know you have a pact with the devil. I get it.
I do. But one of the things that I found was really cool was then, being able to really hone my craft, invest in myself, invest in my own skills. But the other piece of it that I found was extremely difficult was going from somebody who's only known people who work and only known how to do a 9-to-5 kind of gig to then become a business owner. And that to me became that's the biggest lesson hurdle. Those are the things that you have to learn to balance, because I think a lot of us get into consulting because we want to do more of our own craft, because we want to do more of the work that we love.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we don't know that there's so many other pieces there that that you have to do the hats, right?
I think you should come back and we'll do that episode. That's an episode by itself.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what was cool at the time when it was kind of like serendipity. At the time when I got started, very soon after that, the Articulate Storyline beta, now I'm really dating myself, was launched, right? Tom Coleman, he reached out to me. He said, do you want to be part of the beta? I was working with my husband, Ryan. I said, do you also want to be part of the beta? So we were part of the beta. We developed something that was really cool called Broken Coworker. Some people have seen it, some have not. Alex actually has put out some, if you go back, circle that time, you were also putting out some really awesome Kung Fu stuff, man. You inspired me, okay? People got to see that. You put some links there. That's still up somewhere.
Oh, wow.
But what happened, what was really cool is, and kind of, it was a bad thing and a good thing. After I won the Articulate Storyline award, Guru Award, what happened is we kind of became the preferred vendor for Articulate. And that was like, oh, so good. Like, we were like, this is just awesome. And we got all these people coming to work with me and Ryan. But the problem was that we were not ready. We were just like, we didn't know how to handle scope. We didn't know how to handle demand. We didn't know how to, and also the projects were from all over the world. So they were so varied. We didn't know how to manage our time. It was crazy mayhem. So
Yeah.
So I took the opportunity in many ways for granted because I thought they would just keep on coming. And then when the business dried up from that end, I was like, wait a minute, how do I get clients now? Right. And one of the things you learn very quickly as an e-learning developer is that, and those tools like Upwork and Fiverr started really taking off. I forgot what Upwork was called before. Anyways, it was before it was Upwork. And then you start seeing your rates that you charge for become just like commoditized. Now it's crazy, right? And so that's just that trend has become like where before the Articulate tool really was an exclusive tool. Now it's become some commonplace, and there's still so many skills you need to actually produce really good work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so undervalued. I just feel like, my God, this is such an undervalued field because you see so many things that are not so good, and then you see something amazing, and you're like, I know all the skills that went into that, and there's so many like talented people that work in organizations where nobody even knows how good those people are or even respects the kind of effort that and skills
Oh
that
yeah.
it takes to develop good stuff. So I'll
Uh,
end it there. I know you have lots to lots to say about that topic.
no, you said you want to keep it positive, man.
Yeah, I do. Oh, geez, yes. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, based on what you're saying, I think is it's the evolution of technology in different ways, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, today, we're not gonna jump into that one, but I mean, just put a seed in people's head is like, with AI, anybody can fake the funk, So, and
Mm-hmm.
all the tools are adopting the stuff. I'm actually, Articulate actually is going to include some AI or already did or is working on it for Storyline, where
Yeah,
you're
they better be.
uploading
Or
the
they're-
stuff in there and it's gonna spit out something. So I don't know. But anyway, so how did you find out about e-learning? Like I know the beta, was that it, or did you
No.
before play with anything?
Yeah, I played, probably people won't know. So my first
Oh,
foray
no, no,
into,
this is the whole purpose of this
yeah,
episode.
yeah, yeah. This is the first foray I had was Michael Allen's Authorware.
There we go. There we go.
The OG, the OG.
Now we're cooking the OG. Which, by the way, I didn't know this. He was involved with Plato.
What
So
you didn't?
the
Yeah, I
original,
didn't.
the
I
original,
know.
well, not the original, but he was. So that's really the first system of e-learning.
Yeah,
That was developed by Urbana, Illinois, whatever, Champaign, whatever, it's got like three names,
yeah.
the university. Guys, for folks, just check the links in the don't leave it up to me. Champaign, Illinois, Urbana, whatever. But so 1959, that's actually when, this other this educational psychologist or whatnot, Bitzer, comes out with Plato. And then Plato has different versions. And in the 70s, Michael Allen was actually working with Plato, and that led to Authorware. So
Yes,
you play with Authorware.
I played with Authorware,
It was
and see, this is so weird. When I played with this is how I played with Authorware.
uh-huh.
We had these two super nerd consultants come to us with like sheets of paper and things written on them, and we would be giving them feedback on this abstraction. Then they would go away, and they would come back, and it was just it was like that was the process. Like there was no touching keys. I was actually talking to people who had pieces of paper, and we were
Oh,
like doing architecture drawing. It was insane.
wow.
Yeah. Um, it was like a very distant, that's what's amazing. It was such a distant system from you, right? Like you were the designer, but it was like you didn't even see it. It was in some room somewhere punching out punch cards.
Wow.
Um,
Let me,
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to make, yeah, I'm trying not to make comments about your appearance, but we're talking about this stuff. It's like, and gotta realize this is going back, you know. I mean, when people look at me, they believe me. But I mean, you're going way back. This is 80s, right?
No,
90s?
no, 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 no. This no, 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 no.
80s?
This no, no, no. This is no. This is the early. Sorry, what years? This is the early 2000s.
2000s, right? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So the final release, because I was looking it up, and you know, they're very remarkable, resourceful because it got sold a couple of times. But so the original Authorware was 87, according to this very you know, reliable source known as Wikipedia. No, but Authorware actually was just, so it was funded in 87 and by him. And the interesting piece is then different versions. And then did you use Adobe Authorware or Macromedia?
Macromedia.
Ah, the Macromedia version. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And they had cool add-on tools there that our
Yeah.
graphic designers were using in-house too.
What
And before that, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
what operating system were you using?
No idea.
No idea. Oh,
No
okay.
idea. Yeah.
Wow.
But the other one before that, which I thought was kind of cool because this was the first time that I actually played with something, and I felt like a creator, was Carbon. Have you ever heard of Carbon?
Oh, yeah. You know, that sounds very familiar, but
It
no.
was QUARBON or something like that.
No.
And you could build modules. It was extremely clunky, but you could build e-learning modules. And there was no interactivity or anything, but it was just the ability. It was like all of a sudden you have a WYSIWYG, right? And you're like, wow, wow.
Yeah.
And that was cool. That was kind of what got me into it. And then after that, when Articulate, you know, I played around with Articulate Presenter. That was like, wow, more wow. And
So
then yeah,
you didn't start with Captivate.
no, actually I actually did more Lectora
Oh, okay.
than Captivate.
Oh,
Really, Captivate was like this marginal thing. Yeah.
we're super relieved when you use Storeland then when
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
like Dora.
Yeah, Lectora was intense. It was robust, but it was the kind of thing that you're just like, after we had 7-day intensive training on how to use it. So you're just like, well, right? And you're just like, wow, this is, imagine like now you jump on and you can create something in 30 minutes if you want.
Oh no, yeah, and I mean they did some pretty cool stuff. I don't know what direction they took because they kind of went silent, at least I
Yeah.
can tell in the circles.
Yeah.
They're still around, and they put I think they got purchased by either, oh, it was Learning Brothers who took them.
No way.
Yeah, I think so, there was something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, so some kind of merger, I don't know, but there's
Gotcha.
something there. And maybe I stand corrected. This is just referential knowledge, folks. So don't hold
Not Wikipedia. It's
me on it.
Salispedia.
Yeah, so Expedia. But the one thing is, I thought it was I was impressed. I went into Lectora once because Inspire, you know, because they had like the whole different,
Yes.
and I wasn't. I actually used it because I was doing the stuff in Storyline. You know, I was in the challenges every time and every week in Storyline and whatnot. And
Yes.
I did like a data thing with the ATD industry report. So it was like
Yes.
moving circles and stuff. And so somebody was like, "Oh, this is great, but I wish you would have done it in Lectora because I can't." So I was like, "Okay, I'll do it in Lectora." So it took like a free trial and went into it, and that's when I was like, "Whoa, okay."
Yeah.
I
Is
mean, I
robust.
figured it out, but it was heavy. So,
Yeah.
but the cool thing they did, I just want to say before take all the time here, is that they actually developed this thing that was online, and you can actually use your phone to author a course.
What? No way.
You could actually, yeah, grab your phone and do it from your phone if you wanted to, because it was a cloud-based thing. So I was like, oh well, this would be kind of cool. Like if you're like in the middle of, in the jam, you have a project updated, and somebody goes like, hey, yeah, we just didn't like this, change this, and you can be like, okay, log in with your phone and pop and do it.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Or there's something that's super wrong, and you're just like, oh my God, 1,000 people are going to see that, and it's, yeah,
So
that's
let
actually
me
really
ask you a
cool.
question, because I thought this would be interesting since you were an author. Did you ever get, that he did something else? This will be your trivia question.
Oh gosh.
Michael Allen did something else in between after Authorware, and I mean, they published it, but never took off. You ever heard of it?
Are you talking about
It was a software.
Socrates?
No, I don't know if that maybe that's another one, but the one I'm talking about is Zebra.
Zebra Zaps.
Zebra apps. Yeah,
Zebra Zaps.
there you go.
Ah,
And that was pretty cool if you
yes.
remember,
Yes, I
because
do. I
the
do.
the only thing the one thing they had that no other authoring tool had was that they had this perspective thing you could do where you can bring a character from like, the horizon perspective up to the front and do like different things.
I didn't know that
Oh
actually.
my God.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I heard that I don't know. I think it went nowhere in terms of commercial success or they had bugs. I don't know.
To me, like just honestly speaking, I found that it was very costly.
Mm,
And if you're a like even now, I'm finding that, I love Articulate, but the fact their pricing is so like one chunk,
mm,
um, single license kind of thing. I find that just kind of that's very cost prohibitive to a lot of people, you
yeah.
know. So I'm thinking like, Adobe just went like subscription and everybody now has access to all the tools, Photoshop, everything, like where before you paid like $800 just to have Photoshop on your computer, right? And then you use those ripped off licenses, right? So but now everybody has access to these amazing tools. And I doubt that Adobe's hurting,
Mm.
right? I would just say, let's go subscription model and can we get to cloud, please, so that everybody on the Mac can use it instead of having to buy parallels or.
Yeah, because that's another, yeah. I mean, I love Storyline, but that's another expense, yeah. And then
Yeah.
then not only that, that you have to get parallels. And
Yes.
you also need to have a Windows license.
Yes,
You're-
exactly. So
So that's
it's just
another
more
cool. I
moving
mean,
pieces.
and if you're not clever enough, because I'm gonna give a tip here to people, if you have to research like Windows 11 key, retail key, and
Okay.
you can buy a Windows version. You can get the Windows key for like $14.
See, that's amazing. Thank you.
Because
Like you
it's when
just
you
save
go
people thousands.
right. Because I mean, it's $200 to get a brand new Windows 11, and I mean, it's Windows. It's still Windows.
It's Windows. Yeah, it's
So
whichever version.
yeah,
Not talk about that. It's
I
just
know.
horrible.
Right. So the main thing is that when you go in there, when you go into Parallels, right? Like it does have Windows 11 on it, but it doesn't have a key. So it keeps
Yeah,
bugging you with the activation. So
yeah, yeah. It's just it's a clunky process, you know. It's a clunky process, and I think that's and it's what's kind of cool, and I think this is what, to be honest, I think this is our industry uh, doesn't understand, or we don't value ourselves enough, or when we do value ourselves, it's kind of placed in the wrong area.
yeah.
I talk to a ton of people that are like have been in the business a decade plus, and they've been builders. So they've been evolving with like you and I are not unique, right? Like I'll like let's just get into some forums and we'll find our people.
Yeah.
But what's amazing is that there's lots of things there. Like you you work through one system, the next one is easier, so you pick up skills. You can like you'll go in and you know exactly where this thing shines and what does it allow you to do that others can't, right? Like that's an amazing skill to pick up. Then through being able to see thousands and thousands of examples, and now you've been in those Articulate challenges, so you've probably seen twice as much as I have, if not more, of examples. You know what possible engagements there are, what looks good, what doesn't, what works, what the back end looks like. There's just like so much to this. And then, you bring that to a role and you're just like, I can't even express to this hiring manager what I bring to the table, how
People
much value you bring to the table.
people have no
So
idea. Yeah, people have no idea. Especially the hiring managers don't have no idea. But I have.
no, they don't understand the world, and I get that. The only thing I always kind of pisses me off a lot is like most L&D people, like people in e-learning, they don't get into the craft because they want to be rich. They
Hmm.
don't. Like most of them, like they want to get paid well because they're feed and support family and stuff. But
Yeah.
most of them just want to be like creative. They want to be pushed. They want like to do fun stuff. Enjoy their work, and then when I see how much people actually get paid, and I'm not, maybe US is actually better, but in Canada, man, the pay is so sad for the skill set, for
Oh yeah.
actually e-learning skill set. Oh my God, it's
Yeah, well,
terrible.
it's not that, I mean, it's not that great. There's a few jobs here and there here, but I mean, I've been recently in the job market, like looking at things, and like I did a video on ID salaries, for example.
Yeah.
And you got to think it's worse now, because what happens is that what happened was that e-learning developer was an exotic thing,
Mm-hmm.
was a separate skill, separate craft, and now it's all melted into instructional designer. So
Exactly.
so
Yeah,
the
that's actually
expectations of
true.
every job post for instructional design is one line that says, "Oh, familiarity with adult learning theories," and then the rest is like, "Must know storyline, Camtasia, your mom, yeah,
Yeah. Yep. You can
computer
also,
programming,
you
JavaScript."
can cook,
Yeah,
you're an agile scrum master,
exactly.
yeah, you're a
And
certified coach, all those things. It's just
funny
insane
part,
what we
yeah, the funny part is that I have all those skills, and I still gotten rejected in the past.
because they didn't know. They
It's like
didn't
much.
know.
No, no, probably like this guy wants too much money. So no.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah,
So
it's such a, it's funny that the job thing is such a dating game. It's not even, I always say it's like a dating, like a dating game. So it's like, oh, too much money. Oh no, not enough money. You know, like I want all these things in your personality. Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of actually how it works. Although I wouldn't be able to tell you about the dating game too much. I've been
But what do you think? Well, yeah, not in that either. Been married for 20 some years. So
me too.
I don't think I ever do that. I don't think I could be able to do it today. So anyway, the
Mm-mm,
whole app thing, that's crazy. But
no.
anyway, what do you think right now? What's the current what's the status quo? I mean, we had the development of Rise and tools like it. And so that floor, that ceiling level you were talking about has been completely dropped, right? Because I mean, the way I look at it, I mean, a monkey can do rice. That's what I usually say. Like, a chimp can probably go in there and figure it out. It's so easy.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Yeah.
Not to discredit,
Oh,
but
yeah, the creative uses of rice, of course. But I mean,
yeah,
we're talking about the complexity, the ease of use. I mean, Storyline was easy to begin with, but not,
yeah,
rice. It's just, I mean, let's consider the fact that not only is that, but the fact that they put all these pre-made courses in the back end of the library,
yeah, yeah,
right? So
yes,
at this
yes.
point, with Storyline, you had templates. You don't have
Mm-hmm,
made courses. With Rise, you have made courses. I mean, a full-blown course already on the topic.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Anybody can just be like, "Oh, look what I made." It wouldn't be
Yeah,
technical, but yeah,
yeah. So you, most people aren't going to like what I have to say.
of course, and that's fine. You're in the same. If any from anyone, I mean, I'm the same one.
So to be honest, I think right now, hmm, if you ask me, should I be developing my articulate storyline skills? I'd say nope. I would say the skills you want to develop are the things that AI can't do,
Mhm.
which is looking at the bigger picture of business and seeing how the thing that other people you can farm out $15 an hour on Upwork now, that you can, how can you solve those business problems? Because most people are like so focused on the task,
Mhm.
they can't, they don't know how their thing fits into the larger whole. And if you have been in the business for 10, 15 years, you have that experience. So you have to train yourself to look at that bigger picture, because I think that's where the value is going to be. It's not going to be in the little executable actions. It's
Mm.
not, it's going to be in your ability to discern what is valuable, what solves a good problem, where that problem, why is it worth solving? So I think now that the next level of the creme de la creme is not going to be people who can produce beautiful things, although those people will still be there. and I know they can probably demand high prices, but they'll have to be really good at what they do, like really stand out. And those people will always exist. Just like everybody can get paint, doesn't mean you're going to be Picasso, right? He put out a picture every day for like 3 years. It was insane. Anyway, but but where the majority of us are going to be able to thrive is knowing all the things, amassed all these experiences, and then being able to say, okay, I can see where I can solve that problem, and this is the tool exactly that will solve that problem, because that is where I think super value comes in, not in the can I get really really good at this tool
Mm.
that in a month might make me completely obsolete.
Ding, ding, ding. Yep. You're always so bright. I mean, like I said, I should book you for hours next time we talk. Um, you have a hard stop?
Sorry, do I have a hard stop in about 5 minutes?
5 minutes? Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
it gives us a little bit of room here. But
yeah.
I would say, listen, it's always so great to talk to you. I mean, you're so cool. You always
Thank
been
you.
a visionary and you always had like a good sense of great design and ideas. So I always admire what you do, for sure. Always.
Thank you.
I mean, not to say I'm not blowing up, not blowing smoke on you know me, right? So I don't blow smoke on people's butts. It's like
I know.
you either have it or you don't have it, and I'll tell you if you do it or not. And it's not a judgment, it's just what it is. It's appreciation for the craft and the art and the
Thank
passion.
you.
So the one thing I would say is like let people know as well is like you were the pioneer of the Academy game, first of all, 10 years ago. Remember, we saw the skill aid stuff. You started that on Teachable, was it? Was it Teachable
Yes.
or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what else can we say? Um,
I've
yeah.
been around the block. I've been around the
No,
block.
no, and I mean, you have some amazing, great ideas and business ideas. The one thing I said, you are so spot on, as the British will say. I guess it's a British thing, right? Spot on. You're spot
Is it?
on. Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know. They say so. A lot of people on LinkedIn do that. It's like you're spot on. I was like,
You know why?
what does
You
that mean?
know why?
Yeah.
That's because they're using AI
Oh, is that
to write those comments.
just spot?
AI uses spot on like crazy. I'm like, stupid. It's spot on means you didn't write it.
Spot on, Alex. You're spot on. Oh, what spot am I on? Okay. Um, so it's true. I completely agree with you. The pool is now smaller, and I think anybody trying to jump in right now and learn and be crafty at storyline is going to be late in the game, way late in the game because things are already shifting. If you're noticing, storyline adding AI, even I mean, all these apps are forced to add AI. If you're selling anything today and you say you have no AI, forget it. Like you're not even relevant. And
No.
then the other part about that is not to scare anybody, but just so you know, I've seen already job posts out there where they're putting in things like, oh, must know prompts and we
Yes.
familiar with AI and Bard and
Yes.
using Chat GPT and stuff like that. So I think instructional design in many respects is sort of dead from that sequence. I think actually we have an interesting situation there too. I like
It's a
to
renaissance.
I like to hear, yeah, it's a renaissance. You mentioned that. And you
I
were
think,
saying before we started recording, you said that's like
yeah,
there's a renaissance.
it's you know what, when you say the prompts, for me, like if you get killer at prompts, that's a job in itself. I think that's like, it's a future position. So instructional design is dead in the context of you better upskill. You better upskill to leverage this tool. And because you can become awesome. Like if you're like bring to the table already everything, but be open-minded to the prompts
Hmm.
and this sparring partner,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can be so fast.
If
Fast.
you know, and the thing I would say tell people is like, if you know your stuff, then you can definitely be super dangerous about it.
Yes, you can be super dangerous.
Yeah,
You can be
because
super dangerous.
if you don't know your stuff, and I mean knowing like if you know your theory and if you know your craft, the skills and the stuff and this process, the instruction design process, then you can mold it to be like, okay, look, you and I are freaking e-learning experts, and we're going to do our work based on Michael Allen's Authorware, that type of stuff. spit me out some case scenarios and the interactions and whatever, and then it'll be like, here you go.
Yeah. Ah,
It's
yeah. It.
yeah. Well, hey, amazing stuff as always.
Thanks for having me.
I'll have you 10,000 more times, no doubt. We'll definitely do something else, especially when we've transition here a little more and evolve a little more.
Absolutely.
You still around, you know, retire and go somewhere, I know, some island.
They'll have Wi-Fi on the island.
Okay. All right.
All
What are
right.
you doing these days? What's going on? Any promotions? Any interesting projects? What's going on?
Um, right now I'm helping people transition from their L&D positions to actually become independent consultants or have a side gig. And really one of the things that we're working on is, yeah, how do you redefine yourself in this new economy? And how do you create something unique that people value so that you can bring your experiences, still enjoy doing what you're doing. Like you don't want to
Yeah.
transition into something you don't enjoy. So that's kind of the exploration process we're doing right now. And that's to be is just it's really very satisfying work. So
Okay.
yeah.
Where do people get that? Where do they get you at?
Uh it's scenarios, no, eLearning secrets.
Ah,
eLearningsecrets.com.
okay.
My blood roots are scenarios. So that's yeah. But you could, yeah,
Of course.
of
All right,
course.
folks. For everything that we talked about here, check the links in the comments.
You get your work cut out for you.
It's been amazing talking to you, and this has been Anna Sabramowicz, folks.
Thank you, Alex.
Great stuff. Awesome.